All right, and joining us now to weigh in, economic strategist Frances Stacy, along with former New York Congresswoman and board member at the Independent Women's Forum, Nan Hayworth. Nan will be with us throughout the show, and we always enjoy that. And Nan, so on that note, I'm going to start with you here. What do you make of all of this? Let's start, though, with the Lisa Cook issue. Some people saying, okay, if she had actually been found guilty of something as opposed to allegedly committing mortgage fraud, they could then see the removal. But some saying, you know, it might be premature and reflect negatively on President Trump.
Well, I have always tended to trust President Trump's judgment on these matters. I note that Director Cook has not denied, to my knowledge, that she did those things. It is also true that an investigation is ongoing and she has not been formally charged. It is at President Trump's discretion to fire members of the Fed board for cause, not at will. So President Trump is, taking that by the reins. Obviously, she's got a very sharp lawyer, so they will certainly challenge this in court.
Frances, what do you think about it?
Oh, man. I think I should have been Trump's caddy in another lifetime, is what I think. No, look, first of all, people do try to get advantages from themselves, but this is super egregious because she's controlling the fate of other people's mortgage interest rates. And to try and give herself an advantage, she, of course, thought she wouldn't get caught. I have to imagine, though, we have not seen the paperwork that Trump has seen the paperwork in order to make these allegations because he knows he's going to be challenged and he knows this is going to be made political. If I were giving her advice, I would say, you know what? You got me. I had a lapse in judgment. That is part of the human condition. I'm very sorry. I would go over to the Trump administration and I would start some real leadership initiative in partnership with the Trump administration and the Fed and create an opportunity. When you are a leader, you are visible to other people and you have an influence over other people. And I would take this as an opportunity to be a real leader.
Interesting point there. I want to get to this, though. Director of Federal Housing, Bill Pulte, spoke to CNBC about those charges against Cook. Let's see what he said.
The allegation of mortgage fraud, and we do not care whether you're a Republican, a Democrat. We do not care whether you're wealthy. We don't care whether you're a prosecutor. We don't care whether you're a Fed governor. If you commit mortgage fraud and you present an existential threat to the federal home loan banks, Fannie or Freddie, we are going to prosecute it, period.
Yeah, again, not mincing words there, Nan. Also, I want to point out, as we said, that Cook has lawyered up with Abby Lowell, who not only represented Hunter Biden, but I do want to point out that he also represented Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. So lots of high-profile clients there that do not necessarily indicate a political bias. But also want to point out that Cook's term with the Fed would have ended in 2038. Mm-hmm. So as far as she thought, I mean, she had job security for quite some time. Do you think the fact that she's not doing what Frances suggested and just saying, okay, I made a mistake, I'm sorry, is a little bit more out of desperation? I know we can't read her mind, but how do you read it as someone who should be a leader?
Well, I agree entirely with Frances that assuming that these charges are valid, and again, the director has made no indication that they're not, the course that Frances recommends is almost undoubtedly the wisest. She will not survive if, in fact, these charges are found to be valid, because that will be an absolute proof that this is for cause. And again, I trust President Trump on this. I think she's just hanging on because somehow they imagine that they're going to pull a rabbit out of the hat. And if anybody can do it, it's Abby Lowell. But I'm going to doubt that she'll succeed.
I think at the very least, being a governor on the Fed and then being in question of mortgage fraud, right. Frances, to your point, creates such a dark cloud over things that President Trump clearly has thought that, okay, it's best we move on here.
As he said, this is the person who is trusted with financial decisions.
That's right. And making maybe some pretty
The Fed
ones.
should stand up and suspend her, and that gives them more credibility. Suspend her
as an independent body. Yep.
Pending an investigation, because it's not fair. You can't gain advantages that the American people give you over the American people. unfairly, period.
Got to leave it there. Frances, Nan, we appreciate it. Nan, we'll see you later.